Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my reaction of UFC 229, McGregor vs. Holloway. This was an absolutely disappointing main event. Just what a letdown. But we're going to start right from the beginning of the card because besides for the main event, this card was amazing. It was too good, too good. So we're going to start right from the beginning and we'll work our way up and we'll get to it. We will get to it. So let's start from the first fight of the night. Alessandro Costa versus Cody Durden. I picked Alessandro Costa. Alessandro Costa won. I did very good on picks this card. Very good. Finally. I used to do so good on picks, and then I started this channel, and now we're back. Now we're back to numbers that I respect. Alessandro Costa, he's been super active up until now, which is one of the reasons why I picked him. So has Cody Durden, but Cody Durden's been active in winning and losing. Alessandro Costa has been winning. And so let's talk about the fight. Round one, Alessandro Costa's coming out with this like turtle shell defense, and he's landing his punches, but he's very smart about how he was using it. Because Cody Durden, these fuckers, they're kind of like cockroaches. You have to get rid of them. If you don't crush them, they start crawling back into it, you know? But yeah, Cody Durden, he was kind of on the back foot. Alessandro Costa pressuring him with his turtle shell. And Cody Durden is throwing these like, the way I could describe it is it's like unk combos, you know? The kind of thing you'd see like a Neil Magny, like someone like that throwing. They throw these lanky combos and they're like weirdly effective with it. And Cody Durden's throwing them like in the outside, just like slapping these combos out there. And Alessandro Costa was getting tagged up with them, and I'm like, uh-oh, we might be seeing a Cody Durden masterclass over here. But Alessandro Costa stayed composed. I think one of them was landing a calf kick. Let's see. We should be able to just see this by target. They're not going to tell us. Round one. I think it was Costa was landing a couple calf kicks, and Joe Rogan was just going absolutely crazy about them because that's all he does these days. It was out of hand in this card, out of hand. The first like 7 fights in a row, Joe Rogan's just going crazy about the calf kicks. But Sandro Costa looks good. Round two, same thing. He was kind of piecing up Cody Durden, especially at the end of round one. He really started upping it and landing his combos. It all started from the body shots, and it come up to the head. Round two, similar thing, landing his combos, and Durden was like never out of the fight. It was competitive at times, but then at a certain point, I think Durden went for a kick or something, and he just slipped and fell down. And Alessandro Costa, he used to be a grappler. He still is a grappler, but now he's getting all these knockouts. People forget. People forget, man. He kind of came up as like a wrestler, you know? But anyway, he ends up on top of Cody Durden, passed his guard, got on top of him, and what did he end up getting him with? I believe it was a rear naked choke. I think it was a rear naked choke. Got him with it, put Cody Durden out, and these people, they're tough to put away, so that's a really good win from him. He showed his striking and his grappling, and he is a prospect. He's on a little win streak right now. I know he got knocked out recently, actually, maybe like 3 fights ago. Besides for that, the only person I remember him losing to is Steve Versag. But now he's on a 3-fight finishing streak, at least. And he's good, so let's see his step up. Maybe he deserves to fight for the rankings again, you know? So good for him. That was a great win. Let's move on to the next fight of the night. Ryan Gandra versus Zachary Reese. We got this one correct as well. It feels so much better when you get everything right. Ryan Gandra, like I said, Zachary Reese, we already know is kind of dog shit. Ryan Gandra, we didn't know. And he didn't look good in this fight. The second he came out, I already was worried for him. Zachary Reese looks much more technical, but Ryan Gandra just has the power, and Zachary Reese is chinny. And Zachary Reese was doing this weird fucking shit with his hands, and you have to look at the punch Ryan Gandra lands, because he steps in, throws this hook, and Zachary Reese is like moving his hand down as if there was like a body kick or more even like a teep thrown at him. What is this? This is not a defense for anything. It's not a defense for a hook. It's not a defense for a body shot. I don't know what it was. His hand was nowhere near his face doing this, getting clipped heavy with a hook. Got dropped badly. I believe Ryan Gandra landed a couple follow-up shots. He did not need to. They were not necessary, but he did, and it was a TKO. It was a very quick fight. It's not much to talk about. Ryan Gandra, let's see, give him another step up. Maybe against Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira, it took him, he went to a close decision with Zachary Reese, arguably lost it. Ryan Gandra put him out in 1 round, in almost a minute, you know? So let's give him a big step up. We don't need to see him beat up these fucking, it sucks to call Zachary Reese a can. There was a time where he was like 9-1 coming into the UFC, but at this point, he's kind of a can. Give him a step up. All right, let's move on to the next fight of the night while I take a crafty sip of water so my voice doesn't crack. Okay. Already sound better. So, Farid Basharat. I said Farid Basharat's going to win a close 29-28 decision, and Farid Basharat won a close 29-28 decision. I don't know who John Garza is. He was 6-1 coming into this. When we looked at this together. We looked at the website originally. Somehow John Garza was the favorite. Turns out he was not a favorite. He was like a plus 450 underdog, as he should have been. Looking at this fight, Just like on paper, he should have been a big underdog. Farid Basharat was 15-0 coming into this fight, I think, or maybe now he's 15-0. He was 14-0. Um, uh, all close decisions. He's never had a dominant fight in his in his career, except for that one submission he has in the UFC. Other than that, all of them close split decisions, or at least 29-28. But John Garza, he had good boxing. Round one, Farid Basharat's doing good, kind of staying lengthy. At a certain point, he got a takedown in round one, got some control time out of it. But then round two, John Garza comes out, and even in round one, John Garza was starting to get up from he got up from the takedown, and pretty athletically too. He's very young. How they're not gonna tell me. They don't tell me age on this fucking website, but he is young, and so he has time to grow. But in round two, he started getting his boxing combos together, and he started stuffing Farid Basharat's takedowns, and he would get out of them in the most insane ways possible. Like, I mean, part of it was like Farid Basharat was relying a lot on locking when he'd get him to the cage. He was relying on locking his arms around the legs, but then because of like once they started getting slippery because they were sweaty, his hands just started slipping up to the top of the back, and then he couldn't get it from there. And then John Garza was also just like when he did get taken down, he would spring back up, just like explode back to his feet. And then once he was on the feet, Farid Basharat started gassing out because he was shooting a lot of takedowns. And also, John Garza started landing these awesome body shots, these hooks straight to the body, hurt him badly, actually. Like, there was a point in round two where Farid Basharat started, like, walking back, where he was basically rocked to the body, I would say. And somehow one of the judges, or two of the judges, gave Farid Basharat that round, which, in my opinion, is absolutely insane. But then round three, same thing. Farid Basharat starts looking like a victim on the feet, and John Garza is just picking him apart with boxing. But then Farid got the takedown when he needed it. And it was kind of a weak takedown. Even in round two, at a certain point, he got a takedown that was a little bit weak. It was weak. He had like a single leg, and he just like tapped the outside of the other leg, and John Garza just falls down. It's so weird because he was stuffing the craziest takedowns, but then something as simple as that took him down. But yeah, Farid Basharat got on top, and what's very important, and he knew this, he landed a lot of ground and pound because he was getting outstruck in the third round as well. And then he knew he needed to get to do damage, and he did a lot of damage. And because of that, he won the fight. I think that round two went to John Garza. Round one and three went to Basharat. But this is a bad look. You can't be going life and death, basically, with somebody who took the fight on short notice outside of the UFC. Ethan Ewing would have murdered him, would have absolutely destroyed him, would have caught a body in the cage. Unspeakable things Ethan Ewing would have done to this guy. But he's lucky it was John Garza instead. And he's like, it's crazy because he's 15-0, and I think he's absolutely terrible. And anybody in the rankings beats him. Marcus McGee, I believe, is ranked right above him. Marcus McGee kills him, you know? So I've never seen somebody undefeated with such little aura. There is something to be said, though. And tell me if this sounds familiar. Somebody who people think highly of, his opponent drops out, and on a couple days' notice, somebody from a different promotion who's not that good takes the fight with him and makes it weirdly competitive. Have you heard this story before? I have. What reminds me is with Felipe dos Santos and Manel Kape. I'll always bring that up because it does happen where people take fights on short notice, and you think that the advantage is with Farid Basharat because he at least had a full camp. Yeah, but he had a full camp preparing for Ethan Ewing. Now, at the end of the day, it ended up like we did see what the game plan would have been, trying to get takedowns, failing miserably, and getting pieced up on the feet. But it is a new body. Like, it is tough for him as well. Like, okay, now he doesn't even know who John Garza is. It was like a week out of the fight, maybe even less. I feel like it was early this week where John Garza popped in. And I think John Garza was preparing for a fight. I heard something he was preparing to fight for the belt in the promotion that he was in, for Fury FC or whatever. The point is, we do just see that when people take fights on short notice, even if they're the A side, it ends up being weirdly competitive. But he does kind of suck, and I'll pick against him at some point when he fights somebody who's even slightly better. Let's move on to Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. Absolute. Pinas just exploded on him. Pinas unloaded shots on Cesar Almeida. We got over the jokes. We can talk about the breakdown now. I did the mandatory dick jokes. This fight, yeah. So I picked Pinas, and Pinas won. And the reason Pinas won is because of the power. That's just the thing. And he's also younger. He's 14 years younger than Cesar Almeida. I think Pinas is 24 and Cesar Almeida is 38. That's nasty. That's not even fair, you know? Cesar Almeida, very good kickboxer. He was able to slow down the fights at moments, and he was landing like his calf kicks and his body kicks. And Cesar Almeida and Pinas was like, is Pinas weak? That's what we're thinking. Is Pinas soft? Pinas, or is Pinas stiff? He was a little stiff out there. Pinas was stiff. But at a certain point, Pinas kind of just said, fuck it. That's really what it is. He just said, fuck it. Cesar Almeida threw like a inside kick to Pinas's thigh or calf, and Pinas kind of let that momentum kick his leg to the outside, and he stepped heavy through the cross, dropped Cesar Almeida badly, and then the ref, I don't know who the ref was, but it was one of the refs, and he just was like, wait, I don't know what he was waiting for. Cesar Almeida goes down bad, like it's over, bro. Pinas is standing over him, looking at the ref, like, do you want me to do bad things to this man? Cesar Almeida is like hunched over. The ref's looking at him. He loads up again, like, you sure you want me to do this? Ref just looks at him. He throws a shot, and then the ref steps in. Like, did we really need that? But good on Pinas for having somewhat resistance, and he looked good. Pinas looked good out there. And who did he call out? He called out Baisangor Susarkayev. That is correct. And fight, let's do it, man. He would murder Baisangor Susarkayev. I've been waiting to pick against Baisangor. He's undefeated. I've been waiting to pick against him. Damian Pinas would do unspeakable things to him. Pinas would unload on him. Pinas, what other dick jokes can I make about Pinas? That's it for now, okay? Don't worry. You're not ready for the next fight. We're coming right along to another one. But yeah, good win from Pinas. And let's move on to Tracy Cortez versus Wang Cong. So Wang, on to the Wang jokes. We're done with Pinas. Here we are with Wang. I picked Wang to win by decision, and Wang won by decision. Tracy Cortez is terrible. She sucks. She looked good at moments. No, no, she didn't. What am I saying? She did not look good at moments. It was funny. Wang Cong and the weigh-ins came with a whole bunch of fake eyelashes. That was a reference to when Tracy Cortez mid-fight had an eyelash punched off of her. And like I said, if you get an eyelash punched off of you mid-fight, maybe this isn't your priority. It just sounds like you're not prioritizing the fighting, and you're prioritizing looking good when you are fighting. I got scared for a second. My mic turned off. It did not. We're good. Yeah, so what happened in this fight? Tracy Cortez, people were picking her. A lot of people were picking her. I picked Cong. I picked Wang Cong. Wang Tong, as some fucking retards are saying. And people were picking her to get takedowns. She was not able to get any takedowns. When she was trying to trade, Wang Cong was a lot better. There's something that I think Wang Cong is Chinese, but these Asian fighters who are like pretty good, they all like start showboating, and then they get cracked every time they showboat, and it like scares the shit out of me. She was getting cracked sometimes when she was showboating, but for the most part, she was piecing her apart, landing the calf kicks, as Joe Rogan did not forget to remind us every single time. You know what I realized with Joseph Rogan? You're on fraud alert of not knowing how to commentate fights when there's no calf kicks involved. Because up until this fight, every single fight had some kind of calf kick involved, and Joe Rogan made sure we knew about it. Like, Wang Cong would land a crazy combo on Tracy Cortez. Fuck up her face. There would be moments where Wang Cong would land like a 3-punch combo on Tracy Cortez, end with a calf kick, and Joe Rogan is just like, oh my god, but that calf. Like, okay, there's more to the fight than that. And then if at any point there isn't a calf kick happening in a fight, I'm just listening to commentary like, where's Joseph Rogan at? Where you at, bro? I don't hear anything from you. It's kind of quiet on your side of the road. And it's because he actually doesn't know how to commentate unless there's a calf kick involved. It's like, that's just what he's there for. I'm just here to talk about the calf kicks. Call me when the next calf kick happens. I'll sit back. Because he's not really a fighter. Like, he's not. I know he knows how to throw spinning kicks. He's not a fighter. He doesn't understand the high-level stuff. He's really just there for his things. Steel cups. We didn't get to talk about that today, so no steel cups. Calf kicks. Let's put that on full blast. And how did Pereira ever make 185? Anyway, back to the fight. Wang Cong did put on a masterclass on Tracy Cortez in round 1. And in round 2, at some point, she threw a knee while Tracy had her knee on the ground, and they took a point right away, which I like that. I like that. It didn't matter. Wang Cong won the next 3 rounds, won all 3 rounds, and yeah, absolutely dominated her. Looked really good, and that what she was. Wow, she was ranked number 12. Fighting Tracy Cortez is ranked number 7, so now she's gonna be ranked number 7. She called out the champion. For some reason, her name is Valentina Shevchenko. There we go. We found it. That would not be good if I forgot her name. She called out Valentina Shevchenko. If you don't know, they fought in kickboxing. And she called for the rematch. She's going to have to win a couple more fights. But it's interesting. It's nice. Yeah, she absolutely fucked her up. Her Tracy Cortez's legs were fucked. Joe Rogan, fine. Bro, I swear I heard at some point, I heard him like starting to get some lotion out. It's weird. Okay, anyway. Let's move on to the prelims. Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka III. Turns out even the third version of Kai Kamaka was just not enough for Luke Riley. The fight didn't last very long. It lasted 3 minutes. They were going tit for tat on the feet. I don't even know if Kai Kamaka attempted any takedowns. Let me see. Sub attempts, takedown attempts, 0. Yeah, I thought Kai Kamaka would try to shoot some takedowns. He did not. He just struck on the feet. He landed a couple calf kicks. They were nice. Joe Rogan reminded us again of them. But other than that, he didn't have much. I think he stung Luke Riley like a couple times. And then Luke Riley like just turned it on, started getting that jab going, started getting his boxing going. and ended up rocking him badly. He dropped it badly, and as Kamaka came up, he didn't let him up. Landed a whole bunch of like follow-up shots as Kamaka was trying to recover. At a certain point, like Kamaka, okay, let's talk about the stoppage because Kamaka ends up getting tagged up, like falls onto Luke Riley basically, and the ref just stops the fight because Kamaka looked like he wasn't there. And to be fair, he was like starting to wrestle the ref after that, and just looked like he wasn't there. I would like to see him go out though, like out cold as a fan, not as his family. Like as Kamaka's wife, she should be very like happy because he was saved a lot of damage. But as a fan, I want to see him go out cold. So I am sad about that. But yeah, but it was a fair stoppage. Is my point. It was a fair stoppage. I would not call it early. Kamaka would have gotten flatlined, and as a fan, I wanted to see that. But yeah, Luke Riley moves up to I think he's 15-0 now. Or 13-0. He's something at 0, looking really good. He is another prospect, and he's actually pretty technical. There's like the Scousers do have to kind of get tagged up before they win. It's just a thing that happens, except for Patty today. We'll talk about that. But yeah, good performance. Not much to say. Let's move on to Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. A lot of first-round knockouts on this card, like I predicted. I predict these things, yeah? Don't get me started on that. I just got sad for a second. Okay, we'll talk about it when we get there. Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. This was just two people who are boxers. They're both shitty. They both have power going at it. Cody Garbrandt looked very fast, came running out, just throwing a whole bunch of, like a heavy combo. He landed a couple of them, busted up Adrian Yanez's right eye. Right away, he had a mark under it, but Adrian Yanez stayed composed, circled out, and then the rest of it was all him. He rocked Garbrandt badly, and then as he like rocked Garbrandt once, Garbrandt started circling around. He then, I don't think he dropped him, but he rocked him again. And as Garbrandt's like falling backwards, he landed like 4 hooks straight to Garbrandt's face, just like ba 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 ba, straight onto his jaw, and put him out badly. That was really sad. That was like, I picked up Adrian Yanez. So far, 1 defeated on picks. I went really good on this card with that. If I forgot to mention that, it's good. You know, I like going good on picks finally. It was sad, man. It was sad seeing Cody Garbrandt out like that. Rough watch. Rough watch. Going from like beating Dominic Cruz to just this, like losing to Adrian Yanez. He's not bad, Adrian Yanez, but it's a rough downfall. He should retire. I don't see him winning many more fights after this. This is another just brutal knockout. How many times have we seen this already? Cody Garbrandt just being brutally chinned. Bad day. Anyway, I'm happy about Adrian Yanez and give him a step up as well. Let's move on to Gable Steveson versus Elisha Ellison. Well. This might be the first fraud check I've seen, even though the guy who was fraud checked won within 2.5 minutes. He looked terrible, guys. We all saw that, right? Like, he just looked so bad, and I knew he wasn't that good. I've seen the video of the wheel kick landing clean on his chin. I didn't think it would be Elisha Ellison who's giving him resistance already. Already? Jesus Christ. You know, Elisha Ellison started training MMA, not fighting, started training MMA in 2022. I started before that. You know, he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. Elisha Ellison is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. That's fucking crazy. Anyway, let's talk about the fight. Gable Steveson came out throwing a heavy combo. Elisha Ellison kind of just circled away, and even right away, you could kind of tell that, like, oh, he's not that good. And I thought Gable Steveson would have more power, but he starts throwing these, like, teeps to the body, and they were working. It was a very smart game plan. You would think he would ragdoll him, though. He shot a takedown at some point. Elisha Ellison just went for a little guillotine, and Gable Steveson just let go, like, I don't want to get guillotined. Bro, you're so fucked. You're gonna get murdered by one of these heavyweights. Oh my god. But yeah, and then he rocks Elisha Ellison at some point. Elisha Ellison tagged him back, like hit him. He got stung up. Gable Steveson did, and at a certain point he throws like this one of his teeps, and it landed on the cup of Elisha Ellison. They gave him time to recover, and the commentary is like fucking glaze overdrive on Gable Steveson. I don't think it was it wasn't even a kick to the groin. And Mark Otto was just like, I heard it hit the cup. It was a groin kick. But they were having none of it. Anyway, he got time to recover. Elisha Ellison did. And he also did get rocked. So he was smart about it, you know? Let me take my time. Crafty groin shot. But then Gable Steveson comes back out, getting rocked again. Like, bro, he got stung up by Elisha Ellison. But he ends up hurting him hurting him to the body. And then he landed a combo on the fence. And it was weird. It was a weird knockout. Because Elisha Ellison was like, he got hit with like a hook that just like knocked him out basically, but the fence was still holding him up, so it looked like he was fine. And Gable Steveson kind of like thinks about going for like a guillotine or kneeing his head, and then he just lets go of him, and Elisha Ellison just slumps to the canvas because he was already out. So interesting knockout. I said Gable Steveson would get a knockout in round 1, and he wouldn't have to use his grappling for it, and that's what he did. So another pick by me. You know what's nice about it? Not just did I get all these picks correctly, I predicted the way they would go, like specifically method of victory, round of victory. I'm just proud of myself right now, guys. Can we all just be proud of me for my picks? I'm gonna take another sip of water because my voice is cracking again. There's a smile on my face right now. Do you want to know why there's a smile on my face? Because Robert the Weeper Whitaker got a win in 2026. Robert the Reaper Whitaker knocks out Nikita Krylov. Who could have called that? But me. I called it. Robert Whitaker was a big underdog to begin with. I know at a certain point the odds even, but when I picked it, he was still an underdog, as I did with a lot of these fights. Not a lot, some of them, like the fight after this one. Robert Whitaker, it has to be said, please move back down to middleweight. You have to move back down to middleweight. Don't stay here. This is where the road ends for Robert Whitaker. I thought he would look better. He was fucking fat. He was a fat ass coming in here. Look, I mean, there were resemblances of abs when he hopped on the cage after he won. But maybe also because he got a nice workout in, burned some calories during this fight. There weren't abs on him in the beginning of this fight. But let's talk about the fight. Nikita Krylov just like so much bigger than Robert Whitaker. Robert, you're not 6 feet. You're just not. I said it in the last video. You're 5'4" at least. You're like 5'10", 5'11" at best. Really, 5'11" at best. Nikita Krylov just towering over him. And he smudged him. Nikita Krylov tried to smudge Robert Whitaker, and it kind of worked. He like held him against the cage, took him down for a second, almost choked him out. And I'm thinking, how bad is Khamzat Chimaev, you know? Well, you're Nikita Krylov level? Like, really, this is supposed to be one of your good wins. When Robert Whitaker had a fucking dislocated jaw or missing teeth or whatever it was. Anyway, Nikita Krylov wrestles early. Robert Whitaker works his way back up to his feet and starts stinging up Nikita Krylov. And he's just bouncing in and out. Signature Robert Whitaker. And just class was in session. The schooling has begun. He schooled Nikita Krylov, masterclass, popping in and out. But his shots did not have as much power as I thought they would. He was landing a lot of clean shots that did absolutely nothing. But he was landing a lot of those like uppercut cross. He tried the head kick a couple times, did not work out. His legs cannot make it that high. But yeah, stung him up in round one. Round two, a lot of the same things. That's when it became a lot more dominant because in round one, he also gassed out. He was really tired from the grappling. They both were, but also Robert Whitaker was. And that worries me because Nikita Krylov, he's not really a grappler. When a grappler gets his hand on you, Robert Whitaker, you're going to get fucked up. I'm looking at him right now. You're going to get fucked up. I know he's probably on the other side of the screen for you. Please, don't stay at light heavyweight. Bogdan Guskov would murder you. God damn it, man. Bogdan Guskov would catch a body. It's not nice. I know we all are feeling like, yeah, Robert Whitaker won. He's going to get fucked up by light heavyweights. I picked him in this fight. I knew he'd win this one. This is a good stylistic matchup for him. There will be some people who will do unspeakable things to him. But let's get to round three. Round three, stinging him up more. At this point, he's fully recovered. He's doing something weird this whole fight. He's like bringing up his back leg and just like tapping his heel or whatever, the bottom of his foot to his calf. And Joe Rogan is saying, no, he's trying to get sweat on the back of his leg. No, he wasn't rubbing it. He was just tapping it. It looked like something weird happened to his leg. I don't know what it was, but he did it a lot. Like it was a tick. Very weird. He ended up rocking Nikita Krylov badly in round three. But every time he rocked him, it was weird. Instead of following up, he kind of just stepped back. The game plan looked like it was Robert Whitaker being just completely a counter striker and waiting for Nikita Krylov to come in and then countering with his punches because he does have a shorter reach. So he kept on doing that. He was like rocking Nikita Krylov on the fence, stepping back, letting him come back to him, and then punching again. And at a certain point, he really hurt him badly. And then he came in with a combo. He ended up with, it was like a cross up top, and it spun Nikita Krylov's jaw off. And it spun it completely. And then Nikita Krylov right away starts biting down. And then he pulls his jaw and he says, that's it, I'm done. He broke Nikita Krylov's jaw. And it was a masterclass performance. He just looked like a piece of fat slob. He just looked like a slob out there. And it didn't look good, but he won. And he looked good performance-wise. He didn't look good physique-wise. And please don't stay at light heavyweight. It's going to end bad for you. Please. But yeah, great performance for Robert Whitaker. We will sleep well tonight for this fight at least, until we have to think about what happened in the main event. Terrence McKinney versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green, you were named Robert. I picked Bobby Green, and I was right. This was like an insane fight to predict. Like I'm going to take credit because why not? I want to take credit, but there was no way of really knowing what happens in this fight. As you saw in the fight, Terrence McKinney comes out, first punch he throws, right away cuts open Bobby Green's eye. His eye's already busted up. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? I have made a big mistake. Terrence McKinney did look a lot more composed for a little bit of this fight. For like the first 2 minutes, I'm thinking, oh, composed McKinney came out to fight. He was like, he didn't come out rushing. He just kind of started piecing up Bobby Green on the feet, like badly. And he hurt Bobby Green badly. I don't know if he shot a takedown, but the fight ended up on the ground somehow. He did shoot a takedown. He did, yes. Now I remember. He shot a takedown. He was sticking up Bobby Green. Bobby Green's talking to him, but it doesn't look as cool when you're getting stung up. Weirdly enough, Bobby Green had a good chin in this fight. You wouldn't expect it against Terrence McKinney. Everybody gets chinny around McKinney. Chinny around McKinney. But he was eating the punches. McKinney shot a takedown, took Bobby Green down, and then from there he got like a Dagestani handcuff and was punching the shit out of him. And if he just stayed punching the shit out of Robert Green, Robert Green, he would have won this fight. He would have gotten a TKO. At a certain point, he even had him like back mounted and was like punching the side of his head. And if he just stayed with that, he would have gotten the knockout, and my pick would have been ruined. But instead of doing that, he tried to go for the choke, and that opened up it opened up an opening for Robert Green. Wow, I just want to call him Robert Green from now on. For Bobby Green, that opened up an opening for him because he wasn't being punched anymore, so he had time to recover. He's a veteran enough to not get choked out by a rear naked choke, and he actually started punching him from the back. And you could see Terrence McKinney started gassing out because we know he only has 1 round of cardio. If he doesn't end up round 1, he's not going to get a finish. He's going to get finished. And Bobby Green ends up working his way back to his feet. Terrence McKinney gets back up, and he basically just quit. Bobby Green landed like a hook to the body. Terrence McKinney just fucking slumped down and was just like taking it. Like he was just in turtle, just not even thinking about fighting back. The ref stopped the fight with 1 second left on the clock, but I think that's fair play. I'm not always for that. I'm not super consistent on this rule, but I think that if somebody looks like they're just done, they shouldn't get a minute to recover because you lost the fight. You don't get a minute to recover after that. You're done. Terrence McKinney was not able to continue fighting when the ref stopped the fight, so that's a fair stoppage. And Bobby Green wins, and now he's on like a 4-fight win streak, 3 of them by finish. So, he's not looking bad. I don't know how much further this goes on though. I don't know how much further Bobby Green can pull this off because he is 39. He's only getting older, and he didn't look that good on the feet in the beginning of this fight. So I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to Brandon Royval versus Loner Kavanaugh. This was the fight that broke my streak. I was 10-0 on picks, basically all picking the right method of victory until this fight, but I'm not even upset. I'm not upset at this fight. Brandon Royval, my hats are off to you. Absolute cinema this fight was. I'm talking like Conor Yoda McGregor these days. Absolute cinema this fight was. Yeah. This fight was absolute cinema. Brandon Royval, I underestimated him. I kind of put him in the same class as Brandon Moreno. I always just thought that, like, they're the same, So if Kavanaugh basically beat up Moreno, he's going to do the same thing to Royval. But they're not the same. Royval did beat Moreno the second time. And if we just look at, like, I guess now we really know. We see an opponent that they had in common. Loner Kavanaugh coming out of round 1. And I think what we're learning is he struggles with taller opponents. Charles Johnson, now Moreno, the 2 people he lost to in the UFC, maybe even at all, are both these tall, lanky guys. And Royval was just keeping him away with the jab, and then starting to put that cross behind it in round 1. Basically, the story of round 1 was definitely the jab. And then what he started doing, and I like this technique, he started using fight IQ. It's a good technique to have. He didn't have it in the Joshua Van fight. It really pissed me off because I picked him to beat Joshua Van, and then he decided to just box with Joshua Van. No takedowns, no kicks, nothing. In this fight, we saw everything. He halfway through round 1, he throws a cross, gets his head off the center line, and then he was doing this setup for the takedown the whole time. Like this, he only had one real setup, which was cross, get down to the leg, and then basically pulling down a single leg and putting himself into a guillotine. And Loner Kavanaugh tried to get the guillotine in all of the rounds, and then he would fail them in all the rounds, and Brandon Royval would end up on top in all the rounds. But round 1, he ends up on top, basically just securing a dominant round 1. And round 2, coming out again, using his jab, and then Loner Kavanaugh ends up, he literally landed the Conor McGregor like combo that we always see. Brandon Royval throws the cross, Royval slips to the outside because it's open stance, throws the cross behind it. Kavanaugh slips to the outside of the cross, throws his own cross behind it, drops Royval badly. It's, you know what it is? When somebody gets dropped, like boom, and they pop back up, it's not that bad. It's when their legs start moving and they start getting they start fucking like flailing around. That's when it's bad. When they start looking like a chicken, doing the chicken dance, that's when it's bad. That's when you're like, oh, he's about to get flatlined. He falls down badly. I think it's over. Kavanaugh jumps in, landing some good ground and pound shots. But Royval, using his fucking crafty jiu-jitsu, gets a leg in front of Kavanaugh's face. He's cranking on the arm. He's doing some 10th planet bullshit, At a certain point, he was just pulling Kavanaugh's face directly into his shin bone. Very uncomfortable stuff. Ends up using that to survive, gets back up to his feet. As he got back up, Kavanaugh lands a nasty elbow right to the back of Royval's head. And look, I made a whole video, I made a whole career basically about calling out fouls, but this was a fair shot because Royval did turn away as he threw the elbow, like he straight up did. So that's not Loner Kavanaugh's fault. But he landed that elbow to the back of the head. It still did land, and Royval did get rocked from it again. He stepped back, fell down onto one knee, got back up, back into Loner Kavanaugh's face. That's another thing. Great pressure. He kept Loner at the end of the jab, and he didn't give him space. He kept him on the cage the whole fight. Like, just think of the fight right now. Kavanaugh's back was basically on the cage the whole time, and not just is it tiring, it doesn't give him the space he needs as a shorter opponent. He's 5'4" at least, you know. He's not that tall of an individual, and he needs that space is gonna kill him. He can't land his combos properly. But Royval just right back in his face, even though he got dropped in this fight, ends up getting a takedown in this fight as well to clinch it up at the to clench it up at the end. He lost that round, obviously, but it was just good for him to recover and to keep that pace going, even landing some ground and pound shots. Round 3, similar story, but halfway, like, you know, using his jab, but again, using that setup, that cross, slipping his head on the outside. I guess it didn't go for that long because it finished in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Is it into the round or is it time left? I think it's into the round. So yeah, so he slips to the outside, gets that single leg. Kavanaugh's really cranking on this guillotine. For a second, I thought he might actually have it. This one, it was pretty tight. One of them was really tight. I don't know which one. He went for them every single time and gave up position every single time. But Kavanaugh ended up, Royval ended up on top. He ended up going for this arm triangle. It looked really tight. Kavanaugh was not going to tap to shit. He was not having it. He really wanted to win this fight. And he said he wants to win, as DC would say. That's my voice telling me I need some more water. Guys, it's 2 a.m. You know, 1:24 a.m. right now. And I was yelling the whole time. You have to forgive me for not having a voice. He has this deep arm triangle. Kavanaugh barely makes it out, but gives up his back in the process. Royval ends up on his back, goes for the choke, gets it. Kavanaugh taps, but it was kind of too late. He goes out as well. Fair play to both of them. I forgot to mention, in round 3, before he goes for the takedown, he rocked Loner badly, and then as he comes in to rush, Loner rocks him back, and they both look at each other laughing like, fair play, man, and that's when he shot the takedown and clinched it up. So again, just like good fight IQ from Royval. Every time like you think that he's striking, he shoots a takedown. None of this was in the Joshua Van fight. I'm glad he's learning, and I underestimated him, you know? I underestimated him. I did. I thought that after the Cop fight, he was kind of done. Even after the Joshua Van fight, it's just like, it looked like he was getting older. But in this fight, he looked, I'm not going to say prime. He got dropped once and rocked badly twice. But he looked good. And he's always going to bring a scrap. Like, this is by far fight of the night. He won fight of the year by the awards that they're doing for UFC. And regardless, it was a crazy fight that he had with Joshua Van. And again, just a crazy fight. He's always here. He's a fucking dog. He's a raw dog. Brandon Raw Dog Royval. He's here. He's always gonna have an entertaining fight. So I'm happy with this. And Kavanaugh's young. Kavanaugh, Boner Kavanaugh, as we like to call him. He's like 24 or whatever. He has time. He'll make it back up there. At some point, we will see him fight for the belt. But today is not that day. Great fight. Let's move on to another fight that I got wrong. Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista. I picked Corey Sandhagen, and to be fair, he was looking good early. In round 1, he did rock Batista at some point, and he was looking good, staying behind that jab. He looked vicious for a little bit. He came out right away, stung up Batista. He looked pretty good. What ended up happening? Batista tried to take him down a couple times, couldn't get him down. Let's look at the strikes in round 1. 43 to 42, pretty even, but he did land the better ones. And significant, 39 to 35. The point is, he was landing the better shots in round 1. He was looking like, you know, Corey Sandhagen came to play today. All the white boys were cheering everywhere. White men around the world were cheering for Corey Sandhagen. But towards the end of round 1, Mario Batista, he came in with like a crazy combo, landed it, and as Corey Sandhagen is like processing what happened, Mario slips into a double leg, gets Corey Sandhagen down to the ground, which is pretty hard to do. Umar couldn't even do it. Gets him right away, hops onto his back as Corey's trying to like recover, and he starts going for the Sulev stretch. And I'm just thinking, my poor boy Corey Sandhagen, because he got backpacked by Aljo. It already happened with Charles Johnson, the Sulev stretch. I don't want to see my white brother Corey Sandhagen getting Sulev stretch, please, for the love of God. And so Corey Sandhagen slips his head out of the Sulev stretch, but the knee was still there, and so Mario Batista just starts cranking on it. And the round is over. Corey even threw a couple punches. We think it's fine. Okay, round 1, you have to give it to Mario Batista now because of that, but it's fine. But then Corey Sandhagen stands up and he starts walking back to his corner, and he has a limp. He has a limp. And so we're like, uh-oh, let's see, round 2. Round 2, he comes out. It's weird because it almost looked like his other leg had a limp, so I don't even know what's going on. It looked like his right leg had a limp, even though his left leg was in the Sulev stretch. But anyway, round two, he looked fine. He actually won. It was like a close round two. Let's see, the strikes on round two was 44-44. But Corey Sandhagen landed the better shots. I can't really name any one shot he landed, but he landed Corey Sandhagen type of shots. Jabs, body kicks, teeps, leg kicks. You know what I'm talking about. He landed Corey Sandhagen shots. Mario Batista couldn't take him down, and I was surprised because he hurt his knee badly, and you could see in the whole second round, even though he's outlanding Batista, he's still dealing with this injury. But then round three, Batista comes out and drops him badly. I can't remember the exact combo it was, but this looked like a knockout again. And Corey Sandhagen, the second he gets dropped, and it's like, this is what lost him the fight. Because it's 1-1 going into the third, and when he gets dropped, it's like, oh, there goes the fight. Because Corey Sandhagen's not getting a finish, not at this point at least. The fucked up knee just got dropped, and he starts going for like a leg lock, like right away. He's using again this 10th planet shit. It's working at least. I think I would never like say pull guard and go for 10th planet shit. But if you get dropped, you can pull out your 10th planet stuff. You can start pulling out your omoplatas, your gogoplatas. He was going for a fucking inverted heel hook or whatever. Good for you. And let him recover. He was never going to finish it, even though he did fuck up Davidson Figueiredo's knee with it and TJ Dillashaw's knee. But Mario Batista is not Davidson Figueiredo, 45-year-old Davidson Figueiredo, 65-year-old Davidson Figueiredo. We could keep on going with age. He's an old motherfucker. That's not him. So Mario Batista did not get finished with a leg lock. Corey Sandhagen did recover, ended up making it back to his feet. But he just looked tired, and he got rocked, and his knees fucked up, and it just was like sad seeing him out there. And then Mario Batista was slowing down at the end of round three, which is rare. We don't see that from him often. But Corey Sandhagen just didn't have enough to push, and he started like grappling with him. He kind of fell into like, because Mario at the end of round three already was, back to classic Mario against fucking Jose Aldo, like holding him against the cage again. And Corey Sandhagen kind of fell for that because once he got away from Mario Batista, instead of going for the knockout, he started grappling too. And it's like, shouldn't have done that. You're never going to win with grappling. You're already down 2 rounds. You have to get a knockout. But it was a good fight all around. Mario Batista won. I was wrong. But to be fair, I didn't see Corey Sandhagen popping his knee in round 1. And it could have gone different had that not have happened. It was a very close competitive fight. And Mario Batista asked for a belt. You're not getting a fucking belt, bro. You're not getting a belt. But let's see him maybe against Sean O'Malley. That would be an interesting fight. Anybody want to see it? I want to. Yeah, so that's it for that fight. We move on to the main event of the evening. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Paddy Pimblett. I'm proud of this pick. Paddy Pimblett was an underdog. They're going to say, yeah, he's like barely an underdog here. I saw people, when this fight was booked, like, oh, Paddy Pimblett's going to get beat up. I didn't think so. I picked Paddy Pimblett by submission, and my logic was, and this is what happened. I said, if Dustin Poirier is almost guillotining you 5 times in a round, Paddy Pimblett's gonna fuck you up. And Paddy Pimblett fucked him up. Benoit came out. Paddy stung him early with a cross hook. Benoit shoots a takedown early, as if it's not a 50-second fight. Benoit shoots a takedown. Paddy gets the guillotine, ends up like pulls it, ends up rolling Benoit over, getting on top, switches for a Darce. And then I don't even know what the fuck to call whatever he did to Benoit. He goes for like a Peruvian necktie, which is when you have a guillotine and you throw the leg over. He did that with the Darce. They're calling it just a Darce finish. He threw the leg over, puts Benoit basically out. It shouldn't be called a Darce finish. It should be called a Peruvian Darce, something like that. I don't know. Like, you can't just call it a Darce if it's not just a Darce, because then a Peruvian necktie is just a guillotine. We need a name for it. Again, we are just seeing people spam shit they saw online. That's what's happening these days. He saw it on Instagram somewhere, and it's fucking working. He puts out Benoit early. Great victory from Paddy Pimblett. This is the best win in his career. This is a better win than Michael Chandler, and he did it more easily. So Paddy Pimblett's legit. Now, guys, are we all back to calling Paddy the best thing ever? It's like one fight, Paddy's terrible. Next fight, Paddy's the best. Next fight, Paddy's terrible. Next fight, Paddy's the best. I have been picking Paddy fights correctly besides for the Gaethje one. I picked him against Chandler. I picked him against Robert Green. I've been picking him in all the fights, and I do think he lost to Jared Gordon, but he is good. Like, at the end of the day, I know he's goofy. I think on the feet, he would have fucked up Benoit Saint-Denis too. I think he's a better striker than Benoit. I don't think that's controversial to say. Great performance from him. Let's move on to the main event. Again, short fight. And let's just talk about this card as a whole before we ruin the vibe. Great card so far. Whole bunch of first round finishes, so there's not a lot to break down, but just a fun card, Let's just see. So what does the main event have to offer us? Conor McGregor comes out, throws a kick, and pops his knee right away. You hear that? That's silence. That's what I heard when this fight happened. It's actually fucking terrible. I'm happy I went through the rest of the card first, because if I started with this, I would have been such a fucking downer. The fight lasted a minute and 9 seconds. Nobody gets to. We don't know anything anymore. He did look old. Yeah, he was gonna lose the fight. I picked him to lose the fight. There's fucking people trying to be smart. Picking him to get the takedowns. We'll never know. We'll never know how the fight would have went because Conor McGregor comes out, throws a jumping kick, lands on his right leg, and right away falls down. Ends up trying to throw another kick, falls down the other way, grabs his knee. Max Holloway throws a couple ground and pound shots, lets him back up. He clearly could see something's wrong. Conor like comes up like, hey, fair play, man, you know, and then just falls again. He tried to throw a kick and just grabs his knee, and the ref just says, okay, that's it, we've seen enough. Steps in and fair play. I mean, what the fuck do you do? It's it it's really like frustrating, you know? Like I'm a big fan of Conor McGregor. I didn't think he was gonna win this fight. I thought he had a very little chance of winning this fight. But I wanted to see a fucking fight, you know? We sat through this whole pay-per-view. It was a great pay-per-view. But Conor McGregor was back. He was back. It's just cursed. Come on, man. And you have to feel for Conor McGregor. You have to feel for him because this was like his last chance. He for sure put everything into this cap. Again, I didn't think he was going to win, but he was sleeping in the gym, you know? I don't think it's that crazy. They were sleeping in the gym, but he was sleeping in the gym. He had to have been taking this so fucking seriously. Like his mentality, if you listen to his interviews coming into this, was I I'm putting everything into this fight. And he like if he got knocked out, he would have been able to say, "Look, I put everything into this. I guess I don't have it anymore." You know? That's the thought as I take another sip of water because my voice is leaving again. But I put everything into this fight, and I got knocked out by somebody better than me. I'm not in my prime anymore. Fair play. We didn't get to find out. He just comes, pops his knee with the first strike he throws. And people are saying it was injured before. It might have been. We saw that clip of him putting on the shoes. It might have been injured before. And then it's like even more so. What the fuck? I know he didn't want to pull out again because of the last fight he pulled out of. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. You know, like it's worse than Cyril Gahn versus Tom Aspinall. At least that we saw something. We didn't see anything. We didn't see anything. It's so unsatisfying. Just the walkout was awesome. I was feeling pumped, man. Live McGregor fight. It's just terrible. It's just a tragedy to MMA. And back to like Conor, it makes you think about life, you know? Because I know we're going off philosophical over here, but like Conor McGregor came back, he found God, blah blah blah. You got to think like, what's his mentality like now? He put everything into the fight. He did everything right. Trained the way he was supposed to. Maybe he made it without any injuries up until the fight, and then he just gets injured. And that's just how life is. There is no sailing into the sunset. He didn't even get knocked out. He didn't even get the satisfaction of knowing he wasn't good enough. It was just like it was just pulled out from under him. The rug was pulled out from under him, and his knees are just fucked. And it's just brutal. It's just rude. You know, it's rude from life to do that to him. I don't think he's a great guy or anything, but going out like this, it's just terrible. I don't think we've seen this before. We've seen people go out on losing streaks, but not just from their body. Well, Dominic Cruz. It's another Dominic Cruz. It really is. It's just his body failing him. First his ankle, now his knees. His knees also in the first Max Holloway fight, and it just sucks. Like Conor McGregor has some of the best performances. The Eddie Alvarez performance that Conor McGregor had, in my opinion, is the most impressive performance in MMA history. Like that is insane. Going up a weight class, making the champion there look like a fool, like doesn't belong in a cage. That's legendary stuff. And this is how he goes out. It's just sad. It's just sad. And I was so upset when it happened. So yeah, like, you know, we can't go out on a high with this card. Up until this fight, the card was amazing. It was great. I was enjoying myself. I got all my picks correct. I went 12-2 on picks. Amazing. You know? The two that I got wrong were like close fights. One of them I was happy with. The other one went a little bit weird. But just ending like this, I'm counting this as one of the picks I got right, but it's like, it doesn't even feel right, you know? It's just rough, man. It's just so rough. Imagine you're one of the guys who paid like $10,000 to sit in the seats. By the way, UFC, you have to stop shining lights in the crowd halfway through the event because you're fraud checking your seats. There's nobody in those seats. I saw that. But bring it back to this. Like imagine paying $10,000 for one of those seats just for this to happen. We didn't even get to see one legit strike thrown other than him running in like a retard, like a slow retard, might I add, which is why I think he would have lost, popping his knee immediately. It's just what do you do? And that's UFC, man. That is UFC. I'll be back next week for whatever the fucking card is there. I haven't even been looking in the future because Conor McGregor was such a big thing. I didn't even care what was after this. Bro, I watched all of Conor's fights leading up to this. It just sucks. It's just rough. Hopefully we can all cry together. You know, I almost let out a tear, man. And yeah, and that's it. That's the event. Thank you all for watching. And come back next week for my breakdown of the next event. See you guys.